So in my previous video, we did a full comparison between the Qantas frequent flyer program and the Velocity frequent flyer program. And the conclusion was that you can't really go wrong with either. Both the Qantas and the Virgin Velocity programs both have their own pros and cons, as well as some similarities as well, but they're both competitive enough that there's no clear winner. However, if you're someone who has decided to actually go down the route of focusing on the Virgin Velocity program, what are the various methods to go about redeeming your points, and what's the best method to go about redeeming your points for maximum value? Well, in this video, we'll go over that and more. We'll go over all of the different ways that you can go about using your frequent flyer points, starting from the worst and then ending on what I believe is the best way to use your Velocity frequent flyer points. So let's get straight into the video. Starting off at number 5, we have the Virgin Rewards store. Now, in comparison to the rewards store offered by Qantas, the Virgin Rewards store is definitely not nearly as comprehensive in its offerings. Not only are there significantly fewer product categories to redeem items from, the stores where you can actually redeem gift card choices are also seriously lacking. For example, you can't even redeem gift cards at JB Hi-Fi or Amazon, which are probably two of the most popular stores where most people redeem gift cards from. But putting aside the lack of choices when it comes to the Virgin Rewards store, what about the value that you can get from redeeming items? Now, it shouldn't come as much surprise, but redeeming physical items from the Virgin Rewards store probably provides the least value to members. For example, let's take this Bose QC45 headphones that require just over 100,000 points to redeem. If we search up what the retail price of that item is, we can see that we can purchase it for around about $398. If we do a quick calculation on that, it comes out to around about 0.4 cents per point in terms of value that we're getting for the points that we need to redeem this item. Now, a benchmark to use to help you determine whether or not you're getting good value from a redemption offer is 0.5 cents per point. Anything below that, and you should probably steer clear because you're getting below average value, and anything above that should be okay to redeem as you're getting above average value. Next, moving on to Virgin's gift card redemptions, whilst there isn't as much choice to Virgin members, the benefit that members do get is that the larger the denomination that you're redeeming the gift card for, the lower it's actually going to cost you in terms of points. So for example, if we chose to redeem this $100 gift card from Apple, that's going to cost us roughly 19,500 points, which comes down to around about 0.5 cents per point, which is just at around about our average in terms of benchmarking. But when we redeem a $1,000 gift card from Apple, it's only going to cost us 180,000 frequent flyer points, which comes out to around about 0.55 cents per point in value. So we are getting some additional value when we do redeem larger denominations in terms of gift cards. Next at number 4 is redeeming your points for hotel bookings and car hire. There are over 400,000 properties across the world where you can make bookings with your Virgin Velocity points. If you've been able to also climb the frequent flyer status level with Virgin to either gold or platinum memberships, you will also enjoy elite tier status privileges with Virgin's preferred hotel partner programs. Some of the benefits include early check-in, late checkout, complimentary breakfast, and benefits during your stay at the property. Now, in terms of overall value, I've found that booking hotels with your Virgin Velocity frequent flyer points does provide you with some additional value in comparison to the rewards store. For example, I'm going to Sydney at the end of the year, and I booked 3 nights accommodation at the Holiday Inn and Suites Hotel, which cost me around about $665. In comparison, I could have paid just over 100,000 Velocity points or some combination of points and pay. This equates to roughly 0.6 cents per point in value, which comes out slightly ahead of the rewards store. However, oftentimes I've found that if you're savvy enough, you can find some pretty good hotel deals through sites like booking.com and trip.com, which makes the overall value of this deal less overall. The third best method is to redeem your points for reward seat upgrades. For domestic flights, if you're traveling on an eligible Virgin flight, then there are 3 different methods that you can go about getting a reward seat upgrade. The first method is known as Upgrade Me Points, which is whereby you use your frequent flyer points to actually request a seat upgrade. Depending on your fare type and how far you're traveling to, will determine how many points you'll need to actually redeem that flight upgrade. We can see on this table the breakdown of how many points you'll need. Overall, it's pretty inexpensive for a significantly better flight experience in my opinion. However, availability of seat upgrades are prioritized based on your frequent flyer status levels. So the highest level of priority goes to platinum members, then gold, then silver. So for the more popular destination routes during peak times, it's probably quite unlikely that you're going to be able to get a seat upgrade unless you're a gold or platinum member. However, typically I've found that even if you're a silver member, you can still get some seat upgrades for the less popular routes during off-peak times. The second method is known as Upgrade Me Platinum, which are complimentary benefits which are given to Velocity's Platinum members. Unfortunately, if you aren't a Platinum member, then this method doesn't really apply to you. However, if you are, once a year, you'll get up to 4 complimentary upgrades, whereby you can request to get your normal economy seat upgraded to a business class flight on any Virgin flight. The last method of getting a seat upgrade is known as an Upgrade Me bid. This is essentially where you make an offer to Virgin to get a seat upgrade for cash. Whether or not you are successful or not will be based on who makes the overall highest offer to Virgin, and also based on seat availability as well. Overall, the benefits of upgrading a seat is really to have a better in-flight experience. Ultimately, it'll be up to the individual to determine whether all of those additional benefits are worth it to them in terms of value. Some people really do value the business class flights and all the additional perks that you get along with it. Others simply just want to get to the destination. The next best method of redeeming your points is by redeeming flights directly with Virgin themselves for their reward seats. Virgin themselves has stated that this is probably one of the best value redemptions for your points, starting from just 7,800 frequent flyer points. Reward seats are an all-inclusive offering, which includes checked baggage, seat selection, in-flight entertainment, and everything that you've come to expect from a Virgin Australia flight. Velocity members can now also use their Virgin points to redeem for international routes with Virgin's partner airlines. So to redeem a reward seat, simply search for your flights as you normally would, except select the option to use your Velocity points. So for example, let's say we're traveling to Singapore next year, leaving on the 10th of March, and then returning on the 15th. For the trip there, we can see that it will cost us 51,900 points, or we could pay 29,000 points and an additional $136 in additional taxes. On the return trip, it will cost us 50,600 points, or 29,000 points and an additional $127 in taxes. For both trips there and back, we'll be flying with Singapore Airlines as one of Virgin's partner airlines. Now, one of the good things with Virgin is that you can actually pay for all of the additional taxes for your airfare with points as well. Whilst on the other hand, with Qantas, you don't have that option. So whenever you are redeeming a reward seat with Qantas, there will always be taxes that you have to pay on top. However, my recommendation is to actually always pay for the taxes on your Virgin reward flight. And this is because in terms of how much value you're getting in terms of paying for those airport taxes with your Virgin Velocity points, it only really ever comes to around about 0.5 to 0.6 points in terms of value. To illustrate this, it would have cost us 102,500 points to book the whole airfare with only points. On the other hand, we could have only spent 58,000 points and then pay an additional $264 in airport taxes. So if we take the difference between the points, which equates to 44,500 points, and then divide that by in terms of how much value we're getting in terms of those airport taxes, it comes out to around about 0.6 cents per point. Now, to calculate how much it would actually cost us to fly the same route, let's go onto Singapore Airlines website and just simply search for that same flight. So for the flight to Singapore, it will cost us $935, and then on the way back for the same flight, it will cost us an additional $101. So the total cost for the return trip would be just over $1,036. So let's do a comparison of how much value we're getting in two different scenarios. In the first scenario, let's imagine we paid for everything with points. So it would have cost us 102,500 points. In this scenario, in terms of overall value, we can see that we're getting roughly 1 cent per point in value. And if we compare that to our benchmark of 0.5 cents per point in value, that's actually pretty good. We're getting double in terms of the benchmark. Now, if we compare that to the second scenario, where if we actually opt in to actually pay for the taxes ourselves, let's see how much value we get in that scenario. So we take the value of the flight and then minus the taxes that we'd have to pay, and then divide it by the total amount of frequent flyer points, we can see that we actually get 1.3 cents in terms of value. So by paying for those taxes out of our own pocket, we're getting more value from our points in this scenario. And finally, the best way, in my opinion, to use your frequent flyer points is by redeeming them with a partner airline. Unlike Qantas, Virgin isn't a part of any airline alliances. However, they have partnered with some of the world's leading airlines to bring a premium experience to their members. In terms of overall value, it's pretty similar to the previous one. However, the reason why I have this one ahead of the previous one is that there's simply so many more destinations that you can travel with Virgin's airline partners. Virgin themselves don't really fly to too many destinations. Domestically, they fly to 42 destinations. Internationally, they only fly to 15 destinations across 11 different countries. Another huge benefit that is unique to Virgin Velocity members is the ability to transfer points between the Velocity Frequent Flyer program and Singapore's Kris Frequent Flyer program at a rate of 1.55 Kris Flyer mile to 1 Velocity point. Whilst you can use your Velocity points to travel on Singapore Airlines because they are an airline partner, better award availability is given to Kris Flyer members. Another benefit is that Kris Flyer opens its flights to its members 355 days in advance, whilst Virgin only has access 330 days in advance. That means that Kris Flyer members are at an advantage because they can book award seats sooner. And lastly, you can get free stopovers when you book as a Kris Flyer member, something that Virgin Velocity doesn't allow you to do. This lets you stop in Singapore or a few other destinations for up to 30 days. And that's all I had for you in this video. Hopefully now you understand all of the various options that you can go about redeeming your Virgin Velocity frequent flyer points. It should come as no surprise that redeeming your points for travel is where you're going to be getting the most bang for your buck. I hope that you learned something new, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.